Okay, so the most memorable class experiences that I had were the discussion on how we identified racially and our ethnicity. Um, just because, like, clearly, like, I look white, and for some reason that class, like, I was annoyed, and I felt, like, slightly humiliated just because, like, Mr. Daniels kept looking over at the class, so I kept glancing over. And Jasmine, who's the only other Hispanic girl in the class, happens to be sitting right next to me. And he asked me, "Why do you keep looking at Jasmine?" Like, it wasn't my intention to be looking at Jasmine. She just happens to be sitting right there. So I was a little frustrated in that one. But nonetheless, I think that's why that was the most memorable. I think I was mad or upset about it for at least like a week. Anyway, so as far as other memorable experiences, the speakers were the best. They were the most memorable just because they really spoke with energy, and they really had like a lot of knowledge on what they were talking about, and they reminded me of things that I need to know, and also like the skills that I want to have as a clinician and as a speaker in the future. Um, the third most memorable was the second immersion lab, just because there weren't as many people, so it was less pressure and less stressful. So I enjoyed that one more. I think I was like the second to the last to go, but I like that one better. Uh, I really liked where we had the classes where people had to bring in activities for group, because I gained a lot of good resources that day, and I've even used a couple of them in groups already. So I really like that, because some of them I don't know when I would have had exposure to them. So that was really cool. I think the questions, the LCSW questions that we did, were my favorite, because I don't get a lot of exposure to those outside of um, outside of hold on outside of the app on my phone. So I felt like that prepared me a lot for the future, and like when we would have discussions on the questions, that was really helpful too. So I learned a little bit more about my learning style that day, and like how it's changed, because my learning style has changed since I have been in the program. Also, the final project videos, that was the last most memorable experience. I really enjoyed watching the creative ones, even the ones that were not creative and that were just basically PowerPoints. They had a lot of information. I was just kind of frustrated me, because the whole time it was like, no PowerPoints, no PowerPoints, no PowerPoints. Don't do a presentation of your, like, do a video of you presenting a PowerPoint. And it was like, it needs to have a creative aspect to it. And then most of the class did PowerPoints or themselves presenting the PowerPoint. So I was kind of frustrated when I mean, it's still cool that I did something different, but it was like, well, I could have just done PowerPoint. Anyway, but yeah, so those are the most memorable experiences that I had.